And I'm going to introduce Steph Lozito. Steph is our continuous improvement leader for our organization. I know there's a lot of questions with people, do you have full-time people working on this? How big's your Kaizen program office? So on and so forth. Steph's our only resource that's dedicated full-time to continuous improvement, and she works 3 days a week. And so she owns our programs, and she's going to talk about our suggestion system that we call Quick and Easy Kaizen.
Thank you, Eric. Everyone hear me okay? Okay, yes, I get to talk about Quick and Easy Kaizen, and quite honestly, this is a very easy topic to talk about, and I could talk much more than the time I'm allotted, but I'll try not to talk too long. It's a self-directed continuous improvement program. Now, what does that mean? It's not a traditional suggestion program. We have an idea generator, a person who submits a suggestion on a form, just like a typical, maybe what you already do in your plants or in your facility. But they're also responsible to implement the solution. Now, they might not be able to implement it all by themselves. They might have to involve another group, say if it's a modification that needs to be made to a cart to make something easier on the line that they work. They would have to involve the equipment group. But they would lead that implementation. They'd be the one that would get the right people involved, make sure it happens in a timely fashion, and we look at that idea once it's then implemented. The fact that it's suggested or that they put an idea out there is great, but more importantly, we implement it, and it's something out there that improves our process. And yes, yet again, another process that we adopted from someone else, and in this case, I'm proud to say it is Toyota. We know the types of continuous improvement programs that they have. So yes, we adopted it from them. Because from Toyota, what do? We train all our associates on identifying opportunities for waste. We know what waste is, the 7 forms of traditional waste, whether or not it's defects or motion, transportation, those types of things. But we train them so that they can go out to their line, they can walk down one of the aisles in the plant, and they can see where there could be an improvement. We also encourage them to look at other lines, not necessarily making the same products, but what they've done in those areas. And we can take that and move it, and the best form of flattery is stealing that idea, right? Every idea is a great idea. And this is important because I will say that not every idea is a QAK. We have some definition around what a QAK is. We'd like it to be simple to implement it. They're not always simple to implement. One of few contact points, meaning I don't have to go talk to 20 people to implement this idea. I can talk to a few people, maybe get it implemented, a little support, or of course I can implement it all by myself. That's even better. But we still consider every idea a great idea, and with a little change or a little modification, we can take a larger scope idea and maybe make it into one or two QEKs, or it could become a project. Eric already touched on this. QEK ideas, the number of ideas that we implement, the participation rate of our people, these are measures of morale in our QCDSM process. We measure this every day. And Eric, we'll talk a little bit more about QCDSM in a moment, but we look at this to say, hey, did you have any ideas implemented today? What's our participation rate this month? Because we don't want just 3 or 4 people to be the ones implementing and suggesting all the ideas. We want everyone to, and not just the associates on the floor. Eric needs to participate in this program just as much as all the leadership team. We're all responsible for this. We're all in this together. I'll tell you a little bit about our 2009 results. We had over 2,400 ideas submitted. And out of that 2,400, 1,800 ideas and solutions implemented. 58% of our workforce participated last year. That was the first time we really measured what participation rate was. We wanted to benchmark that in 2009 so that we could establish goals for 2010. Well, let me tell you what we're doing in 2010 so far. The first quarter, we had 790 ideas implemented in the first quarter. So, pretty impressive. If you look, we've got 3 quarters left in 2010. We're already at over 47% participation for our employees. And again, if you look at that 58% from last year at this time we were at 30, or at the end of the first quarter, we were at 30% participation, and we're at 47. So we're already really it's very encouraging to see everyone jump on this and get involved. Before I give you a couple very simple QAK examples, and you'll take a look at these and say, well, wow, maybe, why weren't these set up this way or whatever? Let me just tell you that we don't track the dollars that we save for our QAK. So for example, we don't put, oh, this will save me 10 minutes every day, so that's how it equates to how many dollars. We don't do that. We know that when we implement an idea, regardless of the scope, how small, it's going to save the company money. Not only will it save the company money, it makes the implementer, the person that put it out there, feel good. That measure morale, absolutely. It's to see their idea out there in action is much more important than the dollars that we know we are saving, so we don't track those. Very simple example here. As you can see, it's just a filing cabinet. We have scan sheets that we use. This is in our warehouse area. What did they do? Put a filing system in place. We have a lot of business that changes over time. Sometimes things get moved. So yes, they started just throwing things in a drawer, but what did it take to put a filing system in there so they could find their sheets easily? Another simple example. This happens to be a walkie-talkie used by our first responders. What they do, we have, of course, we could have an emergency situation, but even if you a drill, they need to find the list of the names that they have to check to make sure that they can find these people during the emergency. And rather than not knowing where this list was or not having it the most updated list, it's attached right to their walkie-talkie that they need. Very simple ideas. This was related to safety. Also in our warehouse or material logistics, a form where they're scanning. Sometimes we had misscans because, you know, the barcode scanner, there's a lot of information or a lot of different barcodes on this one simple form. What did they do? They created a little overlay to put over there. They can still scan quickly down the column. We didn't take away any of that speed time, but now we don't have those misscans. This is a sample retention board, and before, if you see, I'll show you right here, but if you pulled away one of the samples, took it to your station, when you came back, did you stick it right up on the board wherever you decided? You can see right here, that's a label now, so that when I've pulled my sample away, walked back over to my station, bring it back, I will put it back exactly in the same spot, so then I do not make it long for the next person to come and find the same sample. So, very simple ideas, very easy to implement. These were all self-implemented, didn't need a whole lot of support to do this. And we look at everyone as a problem solver. And all these little problems that we have, all these little simple solutions that we put in place, we have a company of problem solvers versus just a team that goes out and solves everything for us. Thanks.
Steph, appreciate it. I need the other one. So as you can see, we're not solving world hunger with these ideas. They're pretty simple. And that's the idea. We talked earlier about the myth that said solving all the little problems doesn't matter. You need to solve the big problems. We don't believe that. We believe you have to solve little problems every day. And this one's a great one for two reasons. As Steph said, one, you know where to put it back. But secondly, you also know that one's missing. One of the retained samples is missing. And so it's a very easy visual signal for us.